Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. We're gonna.
Wow.
I know. I was gonna say something about your hat, and then I
One
thought, don't do that.
responsibility. This is your first intro
please,
today.
please. That's why, though, when it's the first.
I rolled 3 of them, and you're like,
Mr. Perfection.
Let's go
over here. Mr. Perfection. Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. We got Axe and Oak Port. It's a port finish.
Cast strength port finish bourbon whiskey from Colorado.
Woo, and I like your hat. Looks like mine. We're going to test it.
Cowboy hat style.
Port finish cast style.
I did not realize you was going to wear that hat.
Woo.
Yeah. I didn't even realize you put it on.
We had it up.
I thought I was going to be different.
Yeah, that's what you thought. If you wanted to be different, you should have borrowed my shirt.
Nope. First Axe and Oak we've had. And again, there's 2 or 3 standard offering bottles from Axe and Oak I've seen around.
I like that you grabbed the port.
But I saw this cask strength port finish bourbon whiskey from Colorado, and I thought if we're going to try one, just twist it. Just twist it.
I am, but look at that. It's
still not
holding. It's holding strong. Wow. I know, look, that's what I'm saying. I have it twisted like 10 degrees and it's holding tight.
More than 10. Wow. Does it peel off?
I don't know. It's holding strong. I was like, come on, man. Break.
Come on, man.
I know, it's like a strong sticker. That's if the whiskey's as strong as that sticker, it's gonna be good.
It's got a nice color. I like the color. That definitely stood out. This is a memory here. I want to say 53.3%.
That's a very portish color. It's got that little wine kind of finish.
Trying to get me drunk?
Well, it looks good on camera.
That it does. You can see it in the bottle. You don't need to pour it in the glass for that.
We've got a dump glass if you don't want to finish it all, which is wise.
Barrel finished port cask strength whiskey, 53.3%, 106.6 proof.
Wow.
750 milliliter bottle. There's some writing here. It's very faint. It's red on black.
Yes, it is. But the axe looks cool, although it's got a weird angle.
Produced and bottled by Axe and the Oak. Axe and the Oak. Not Axe and Oak. Axe and the Oak Distillery. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, but
and gals.
That's kind of
Colorado Springs. Blended bourbon whiskey finished in port barrels. So blended bourbon would tend to make me believe they've sourced maybe some of their own juice. Maybe they've sourced some. They've blended it. Iron Root doing the same thing. A lot of people doing the same thing.
Right. Nothing bad. I'm glad they're stating it. I know. You get that wine influence in there.
We just did the Paul John Christmas edition. Kind of pretty reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
Fruity.
The wood's still coming through.
There's some oak.
Yeah, fruity oak. Fruity Oaken Shield. Would be a good name. It's like a big, strong oak shield.
Actually, got a little bit weaker nose than I had expected at 53.5. Cast strength port finish. I kind of expected to get a little bit more on the nose outside of some fruit.
Wow. I dove in.
And some oak.
It's juicy. That was my first instinct was it feels like grape juicy, but it's not overly grape. I'm going to have to come back in here. What is that?
Ooh. Wow. Ooh. That's a nice, rich, sweet palate. Yeah, I'm going to take a second sip here to get this going, but fruity, dark fruits. A lot of bourbons that we've had finished in port or sherry barrels, the port and the sherry kind of conflict. The bourbon is such a strong flavor profile. It takes a pretty good sherry or a port influence to push past the bourbon. I think that's happened here.
Yeah, it's pushing.
The port finish is covering up a lot of the bourbon.
Yeah. I'm usually let down by a port finished bourbon. Yeah. Not the case here. My problem is... It starts off, all I can describe as fruit juicy, and then goes oaken in the finish. And I feel like I'm missing something in the middle here. Popcorn kernels on the finish. Kettle cornish sweet. Finish is very nice, very bourbon-esque with that kettle corn. I'll have to come back for the port. What else?
Maybe hints of bourbon in here. There's some caramels, there's some cinnamons, there's some brown sugars, there's some melted butter and brown sugar. Very smooth, lighter compared to the fruitiness.
The nose is like a sweet potato with that brown sugar cinnamon all in there.
Yeah. Toasted marshmallow, marshmallow cream, brulee. Berries, raspberries.
Only on the front. It's like a tale of two drams. Pre-finish, it's all dark, rich fruit, juicy. Finish is that kettle corn bourbon kicker. Interesting.
I'm digging this. I like it.
It's good. It's very different.
It's different. It's a great port finish. I don't know that I could tell this was a bourbon finished in port cask. It almost feels like a single malt matured in port casks.
I definitely get those bourbon flavors though with the corn on the finish.
Light. I don't know that I'm getting the corn per se.
Let me do a little.
I'm not doubting you.
I'm with you.
I'm just saying there's some of the slight bourbon notes, like I say, the cinnamons, the caramels, the brown sugars.
You want me to shoot one in there?
Very active port cask here, I think. A lot of influence.
I agree.
I love it. I like it.
Yeah.
It's better than I had expected. I expected kind of a slighter port, like bourbon heavy, some other sweetnesses in there with it. Maybe the port pushing through.
Way back, like our second year doing this, we had a very nice port finished bourbon, and I can't remember the name of it. I really liked it. And do you remember? Because you've got a mind like a vault. I don't know what that is, like a steel trap.
One drop of water. Real quick, I think that was probably Breckenridge, which is another Colorado whiskey that was poured.
Could be.
One of the first.
I was thinking it was a Beam, but I can't remember.
We haven't had a Beam. I don't think that was poured.
It had this like coffin, almost violin case bottle to it. I can't remember, but I really like that. And that is coming through here.
Rich fruits, berries up front, on the back end.
They did it.
Yeah.
They did it. Usually I don't like a port bourbon mix because it's just bourbon with something.
Yeah.
And this is port up front, bourbon in the finish with this really interesting. I would have to spend some time.
Yeah.
The shift is where I'm getting some interesting things I'm not used to. That's good. It's like a Caro syrup sweetness right as it shifts, and then it goes all kettle corn in the finish. Wow. Way to go.
You're thinking of Sagamore Spirits Rye had a port cask. And it was kind of a coffin-shaped bottle. That was only 2 or 3 years ago. Though.
Man, I even saved the bottle for a while, but in the flood that I had, I got rid of all the bottles.
Oh.
I may double check, but I think it's gone because I love that one.
Maybe a little popcorn on the nose right there. Buttered movie theater popcorn. Rich.
There's a lot of interesting things going on here. So we've been doing this for darn near 10 years. This is cask strength, very nice. And what interests me now, well, there's two things. One, something bold and unique that carries through the marketing. So when this says port cask on the front, I would normally kind of But this carries that through in a very, very nice way, as well as the cast strength. The other thing is when I try something and it's consistent, and I know I can go to it again and again, Elijah Craig, whether it's small batch or barrel proof. But this is not just a, let's call it a port. This is good.
Yeah.
This is really good.
I agree. And I liked it. It was we haven't done a Colorado whiskey for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few out there now, but the port cast, the cast strength, and the color of it, I was like, I think it's a must try. So I'm ready to score it.
I feel like I'm in these high. I feel like a broken record. 89.
We've done some good whiskeys.
I know, 89. This one's another 89. It's doing everything I like about it.
92.
Oh, wow. You were going up.
As I say, I like this one.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, you keep this.
Now, it's kind of quiet because I was sitting there. It was kind of surprised me.
It is. Yeah, usually when it says port, it's always come up, not always, like 95%, it comes up lackluster.
Well, I kind of think because Axe and the Oak, newer distillery, we haven't done anything from them.
I thought we did one. Didn't we do one?
Sure we haven't had any Axe and Oak.
I thought Charlie loaned us an Axe and Oak when he was out there. Because I think he liked it and he bought it.
I don't know.
That's my memory. When he was in the Springs, he went to this distillery.
Yeah,
in
Colorado Springs, by the way.
Yeah.
In the Springs.
Sorry. I used to live in Evergreen, so I know the Springs.
This one definitely surprised me. Better than I had expected. I like it. Great,
Very
like you
much
say.
so.
But I don't know if I'd think this was a bourbon finished in a port cask. I'd be thinking a single malt finished in something.
I think you'd get the bourbon in the finish. I think you would pull port. This one, and there's a lot of port finish ones. I'm like, I don't get anything. All I get is bourbon. This is exactly what it says it is. It's a port cask finish with bourbon, and boy, did they do good with whatever cast they got with the port. Perfectly done.
It's handling water well as well. I put two drops in now. A pretty healthy second drop. It's still a higher. It's probably right around 50% ABV.
Man.
But very nice. Water didn't hurt it.
So
not bringing anything else, but.
Again, the finish is, the bourbon lovers will really enjoy this finish. I think the open is going to be perplexing and kind of, what is this? And then you get your nice kettle corn bourbon finish.
Yeah.
But boy, is it giving you something different on the open.
Yeah.
Really nice. And that port shines through.
Yep.
I really like port finishes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that more than the Oloroso or PX or anything else. For me, on the Scotch side, and this one's doing it.
$90.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
I know.
It's high. And but I was like, let's try this. We haven't done anything from Axe and the Oak. Port finish, cast strength. Let's try it. I think it's well worth it.
They're doing good stuff there. This
video probably won't be watched as much other because it's a newer, not well known distillery, small batch here.
They tune in just to see our hats.
Some do.
Some do. They don't care what we say. They just want to see your shirts and some hats. To hats.
So I guess before we tasted it, I thought I was going to be disappointed for $90. I'm not disappointed for $90.
I'm always disappointed on a port finish bourbon. Almost always. So regardless of the price, I was like, it's not going to be port. And I love port. That's my favorite finish. Yeah. And it definitely held up. So if you like a port finish, you're going to like this. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you've never had a good port finish, try this. Ooh. And it is very unique for a bourbon, which I'm going to piss off bourbon fans here. Bourbon, to me, a good bourbon.
Don't go there.
Is a good bourbon. Can I say that? A good bourbon's a good bourbon. You know what I'm talking about. I don't need to describe taste flavors. If I say that's a good bourbon, everybody goes, check. Yep.
Now, what was you going to say? Say it.
That's about it. I mean, sometimes you got more wood. Sometimes you got a little bit more of the caramel.
I think I've said it quite a bit.
It's kind of bourbon notes.
Most bourbon, 80-90% of bourbon fits in this
It's
wheel.
Because of the virgin oak. that
virgin
wood,
charred oak,
yes,
the
the
mash
wood's
bills.
going to just control that bad
You
boy.
get brown sugars, you get caramel, cinnamon,
Right.
vanilla.
That's why I like a high rye bourbon.
Yeah.
It kicks in with some other stuff I like. So
I think, but then there's some that stand out and some that fall behind.
Mhm.
This one, I mean, even though it's finished, that port
How
finish
old
is
is it?
blowing this one. It doesn't say.
right. Smart on their part.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
So it's an NAS, but my goodness, is that good?
Go to scotchtestdummies.com. It might say it on the side if you can read it.
I can't. It's the red on red.
It's that red on.
It's like
yeah,
demon letters. I can't read it.
I
at
need
my
to. We
age.
need to encourage distilleries to make their labels
At least
friendly
the black.
for
Well,
older
yeah. Look at the government.
people in their
The
50s.
government warning I can read.
Yeah, it's in white. You can
It's
read
in
that.
white on black. I can read it. White on black.
We need 50-year-old plus friendly labels.
I need one of them big. What are
It's gonna
those
be a new-
big magnifying glasses? Yeah, I can read it now. Scotch it. You, Scotch, God.
Cilantro. Dummies.